we there yet? Are we there yet? Vacation should be fun, not full of fights. Well, Bud Klueck and Dr. Tinner are here, and they are going to show us the way to make sure that your blended family doesn't tangle up on your next trip. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey, vacations can be fun or disastrous, depending upon how you plan for them.
All right, and we're planning now. I mean, some people are on their spring break already, you know, or it's coming up later this week.
Or they've got summer coming up. So this is good stuff to think about.
Summer's coming up, sure.
So about 5 points. The first one is make sure wherever you go is that it's an age appropriate for everybody. So there's got to be stuff for everybody to do. So research your places before you go. Make sure there's kid activities and things for your adolescents to do. Otherwise, if your kids get bored, your vacation could go straight down.
Yeah.
Second one is...
Kids never get bored.
Never.
Like, only in 5 minutes. Yeah.
Very quickly. Yeah. So lots of things to do. Research ahead of time. Read the reviews on the resorts or wherever you go. Secondly, consider bringing a friend. Really important for adolescents. If you're going to take adolescents on a trip with you and you want to have a good trip, consider maybe having them bring one of their friends. They will make your life a whole lot better. So
and that actually is going to help the bonding?
Helps the bonding. Because if they've got things to constantly do, and their friends oftentimes will keep them in line. Because if your kid's being rude to you, sometimes their friends will say, hey, you're being rude to your parents. Don't do it.
Very good.
So bring in a friend. Privacy in rooms. Really important that you arrange your rooms. That privacy is important. So parents don't think about that a lot, but, you know, girls and boys in separate rooms, otherwise anxiety can happen. So important to make sure you've got privacy rules on those vacations. Next point, bring stuff from home. You better bring your own toys, you bring your own balls.
You know, these isn't paid for yet.
Not? Yeah. So I can't keep hitting this thing?
No.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. All right. I'll be nice to it. We went on a cruise last year. There were no basketballs on the ship. They threw them overboard. Somebody threw them over the time before. So bring your own stuff. Really, really important.
Make certain
to do
that you're. That's obvious for preparedness, but you wouldn't think of that.
No,
because you'd think they would have it.
You would think so. Think ahead. Bring your own stuff, and then the final point: if you want to have some alone time with your spouse, plan ahead for some babysitting. Some places have babysitting, some places don't, but the concierge is really good about finding outside people that are certified to help with that, so plan that ahead.
Well, in the legal aspects...
Yes.
There you go. Okay, I know there's a few points.
We actually, when my daughter was in high school, brought her friend along. We had a vacation in Tahoe and brought 16. It was a good idea. That was a good idea.
Good.
I have 4 points, Joe. I don't think that means I'm less of an expert than Keith with his 5 points, but in any case, we have 4 points. Number one is get started early, which is what we're already doing. It just turned spring, and we're already starting talking about a summer vacation. Number two is don't book your trip until you get the legalities worked out. Number three, be specific. And number four, give cooperation and expect cooperation, but get it in writing.
Get it in writing. We're talking about blended families now. That's right. Because you've got to decide who's going to go with who and when. As you say, be specific. But with the legalities of this trip, I mean, what do you mean by the legalities there? Your point number 2, I think it was?
Right. Well, communicate in writing to your co-parent what it is you want to do. First of all, get down with your current significant people in your life and talk about where you want to go and what you want to do and come up with some tentative plans. Then communicate to the other parent. Usually the orders coming out of family court with a blended family is that either parent can take 2 one-week vacations non-consecutive. That's the standard orders. And the reason for that, Joe, is because of child development theory. They think that being away from the other, and Keith obviously could chime in on this much more, that being away from the other parent for more than a week is problematical. But you know your kids better than some child development theorists, and you can determine whether or not the child can be away from the other parent longer. But be very specific, and then get it in writing and get an agreement in writing before you actually book the trip. There's nothing worse than have unrefundable tickets or reservations and then have your other spouse or your co-parent, excuse me, say, this ain't working for me.
There you are. Get it in writing and get it signed off. Make sure everybody understands and get it in writing. Thanks, Bud. Thank you very much.
Be supportive.
Great information.
Be supportive to the other parent going on that trip, too.
Yeah, great information.
All right.
We'll do that again just before summer, just to check on everything.